As you know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, many retroactive jealousy sufferers ask their partners many questions about their partner's past. But this is by no means all retroactive jealousy sufferers. In fact, many other retroactive jealousy sufferers don't want to know anything about their partner's past, but sometimes it seems like their partner can't stop talking about their past. In today's video, I'm going to share some strategies for how to deal with retroactive jealousy and what we might call oversharing partners. My name is Zachary Stockill, and since 2013, I have helped thousands of men and women from all over the world beat retroactive jealousy and save their relationships. If you'd like more information about my work, or you'd like to work with me one-on-one, please visit my website at retroactivejealousy.com. For the people here for the first time, the term retroactive jealousy refers to unwanted intrusive thoughts, often obsessive curiosity, and what I like to call mental movies about a partner's past relationships and or sexual history. Retroactive jealousy can involve any or sometimes all of those symptoms. However, many retroactive jealousy sufferers don't have any curiosity about their partner's past in the sense that they don't want to know about it, they don't want to talk about it, they don't want more nitty-gritty details, they don't want to know about their partner's past. But still, they're tormented by the thought of their partner's past. And to add even more fuel to the fire, their partner is what we might call an oversharer, someone who doesn't have much of a filter when it comes to how they talk about themselves and how they talk about their past. So how do you deal with retroactive jealousy if you have a partner who kind of talks too much? If you have a partner who is what we might call an oversharing type of person? Number one, it's basic advice, but many people still overlook it. Never neglect the fine art of changing the subject. If your partner or if anyone else introduces a subject into a conversation that isn't your favorite thing in the world, you'd rather not talk about it, get creative with changing the subject. There are ways to do this that are very subtle. There are ways to do this that are very tactful. There are ways to do this and not make it obvious to other people that you don't want to talk about this certain thing. You can simply try changing the subject. And you can do this a number of ways. You can ask them a question about something else. That's probably one of the best strategies. Everyone's favorite topic of conversation is themselves. We love it when people ask us good questions. We love it when people ask us questions about anything about ourselves. So let's say your partner starts talking about her past. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Are there any good movies on this week? I saw this commercial for a movie I really want to see. Now, when you do this, sometimes, depending on the follow-up question you ask, it can be a little bit obvious that, I'd rather not talk about your past. And sometimes that isn't entirely a bad thing. Sometimes if this pattern repeats over and over and over again, unless you're dating a complete dolt, which hopefully you're dating a reasonably intelligent person, if you do this over and over again, eventually, hopefully, they will get the hint that maybe you don't want to start talking about her ex-boyfriend, or maybe you'd rather not hear about her crazy college years or whatever. Eventually, hopefully, your partner will start to get the hint that, my partner doesn't love this subject of conversation. Maybe I should stay away from that in the future. If that doesn't work, you can simply try stating your feelings, plain as day. Now, when you do this, I think it's important to not make requests of your partner or try to abuse them or manipulate them or say mean things or whatever. You can just state your feelings, kind of lay it out on the table and see how they respond. And again, hopefully you're dealing with someone who's reasonably intelligent. Hopefully you're dealing with someone who cares about you, and hopefully they'll have a good response based on how you're feeling. So, as an example, you can just say, listen, I don't love talking about your ex-boyfriend. It's kind of a turnoff. I don't really enjoy that. Maybe we could talk about other things. You can just state your feelings just like that without all kinds of drama and hysterics and all kinds of accusations or whatever. Just be like, I really don't love it when we talk about X. I'd prefer that we didn't. Now, your partner may have all kinds of, responses to that. But again, hopefully, if you're dealing with someone who's reasonable, they will have a compassionate and empathetic response to that. There's also a chance that they could follow it up with, well, I don't care when you talk about your ex. And you can say, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way. Or, you feel that way and that's okay. I feel differently. This is how I feel. These are my feelings. And always remember as you go through this process, I think it's very helpful in a relationship frequently to reflect on the positive flip side of anything that is potentially challenging about our partner. In other words, trying to see the silver lining, if we can call it that way. So for example, if you have a partner who's oversharing, if you have a partner who's talking a lot and sharing a lot of intimate personal details, well, guess what? That probably means they trust you to a significant extent. That is not to be undervalued. That is something to be cherished. That is something you should appreciate. There's also a good chance your partner doesn't feel judged by you, or doesn't, at the very least, doesn't feel like they're going to be judged by you. That's also something positive. That's also something that should make you feel good. So if you go through this issue, if you're dealing with any kind of challenge with your partner in your relationship, always take a moment to reflect on the positive flip side of the negative experience that you're going through right now. Remember that you chose this person for a reason, and I would assume you chose this person for many reasons. Remember that no relationship is perfect, nobody is perfect, surely. That's the understatement of the millennium. Nobody is perfect, obviously. And there's always going to be something challenging to deal with, no matter who you date. Each of us is deeply complicated. The human brain is the most complicated object in the cosmos. So there's always going to be something with no matter who you date. And I mention that because you don't want to fall into the trap of thinking that the grass is going to be greener on any other side. In other words, you don't want to fall into the trap of thinking, well, if only X, Y, and Z would change, then I'd have the perfect relationship. Or I bet Jane over there, I bet she doesn't talk about her ex all the time, or whatever. If you dated Jane over there, there would be some other issue. And it might be worse. So it's worth keeping that in mind as well. And if you've tried all of this, you've considered all of these different perspectives, you've tried sharing your feelings with your partner. If you've tried all of this and your partner still keeps doing the same thing, well, guess what? I've got bad news for you. You can't change other people. Believe me, you can only change yourself. You can only change your perspective. And at the same time, some people can't really be reasoned with. Some people, unfortunately, cannot be negotiated with. And if you have a partner who cannot be reasoned with, who cannot be negotiated with, sometimes, drastic times call for drastic measures. Sometimes it's worth moving on. Because if someone is fundamentally unreasonable, and they've been that way for an extended period of time, sometimes they will never be able to grow out of that. And that's a recipe for a pretty miserable long-term future. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you appreciated this video, if you got anything out of this, please take a minute to click the like button. You can also leave a comment, tell me what you think. While you're at it, please be sure you are subscribed to my channel to be notified of new videos moving forward. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.